What are the top 10 TV series, sci-fi shows, that not only deserve a reboot, but could actually get one? Welcome to the Tachyon Pulse podcast.
Our Tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.
So, this video is actually inspired by our mate Dave, hello Dave, that actually sent me a story about 10 sci-fi shows that deserve a reboot. Now, I actually didn't particularly agree with that list, but it did inspire me to put this together. Now, this is a list of 10 shows that not only, in my opinion, deserve a reboot, but actually might get one. And then what I've done is I've scored it out of 7 chevrons on how likely it is, as it stands today, to happen. 1 to 3 chevrons being there are executives that are still trying to push this, they're trying to maybe come up with ideas of the story, and they're trying to sell it to their studios. 5 and 6 chevrons would be they've sold it to them and it's in some sort of development and is actually being worked on. 7 chevrons being this is just waiting for a green light, it's definitely going to happen, and we should look for that announcement any time. Why am I scoring it out of 7 chevrons? Because I don't know if you've noticed, but we quite like Stargate on this channel, so why not? First on my list is Knight Rider. Now, this is a show that's already had a bit of a reboot, but it was terrible. And I would actually argue it is still a show that is loved today. If Universal could actually get this off the ground, it would generate significant interest. Now, I first heard about this possibility during the writer's strikes, when executives are running around like headless chickens trying to figure out something to sell to their studios for when they basically started work again. Basically, it comes down to executives didn't have anything to do, so they were just running around trying to think of anything. Now, there was a bigger idea for this, for Knight Rider, Airwolf, maybe the A-Team, even though Disney own that now, and the Bionic Man, to actually appear in this sort of universe of series. That it'd be like a Marvel-esque thing, with lots of series bouncing off each other that maybe even build up to a movie of some sort. But, where are we now? Well, I've been told that, look, there are still executives that have this idea on their table. It's still bouncing around, but it's never really been sort of picked up by the studios. So, for that case, I'm going to give this 3 chevrons. It is still something that could happen, but studios currently are not actively looking at it. Second on my list, Airwolf. Now, this is related to Knight Rider, because actually this Universal idea, I'm told, was sort of trimmed down a little bit, and in the end it looked like it was going to be an Airwolf and Knight Rider maybe reboots, and they weren't going to be adding all these different elements to it, and that they actually probably would be separate TV shows. That was basically a reaction to the realization that this Knight Rider 1980 sort of TV series reboot idea would be horrendously expensive. So they slimmed down the ideas in trying to then sell that to studios. What I'm told today is it really hasn't got beyond that. That there are people, as with Knight Rider, still holding on to it, still trying to sell it to studio, but nobody's picked that up yet. For that reason, again, this is 3 chevrons. It's very possible. It's still sort of in some sort of soft development, but it hasn't actually been picked up by the studios just yet. Third on my list, Sliders. Now, this is a TV series that has been in some sort of development since 2021, and it's sort of been stuck in that development hell. Now, a lot has happened since 2021. We were still in the grasp of COVID, even though it was coming to an end by that point. We've had the strike since then, which has had a massive impact on television and movies, and also a massive impact on budgets for television and movies. Now, I think my understanding is this would go on the Sci-Fi network, and it would be produced by them, so we would expect a relatively low budget. And it would include the return of some of the original cast. So, it would have been a project that I'd have quite looked forward to. But I will say that Sliders was never a show that I really got past the first season. First season was very good. It lost its way as it went on. And actually, I always kind of felt like it was a bit of a Quantum Leap rip-off. It's like the studio went, Quantum Leap's good, let's do that kind of thing. It never quite worked for me. But I have been told that it has actually been picked up by the network. It is in some sort of development, and if they could get the money and they could get, they need a bit of a breakthrough with the story and what have you, it is very possible that this could still happen. For that reason, I'm giving this 4 chevrons. It has been picked up by the studio. It is in some sort of development, even though it has been a bit of a development hell and really hasn't moved for the last 2 years or so. 4th on my list, Babylon 5. Now, obviously, I've talked about this quite a lot after I exclusively dropped that J. Michael Straczynski's plan to move forward to the Babylon 5 remake, reimagining, was having a bit of a problem in that none of the studios it was being sold to by Warner Brothers wanted to take it on. Now, I actually got accused of lying at the time, which is always fun. But a year on, it's still not happened. Could it, though? Warner Brothers have got a script. They have tried to sell it. But no, it's not going to happen. The gate on this one is firmly closed. I'm not even giving it 1 chevron. It's not going to happen in its current form, even though a version without J. Michael Straczynski is possible. Space 1999. Now, this is a project that, again, there's been attempts to reboot it a couple of times, and the current incarnation of this is called Space 2099. This is a classic TV show, still beloved. And if they did it, it's got merchandise written all over it, because, like the Eagle 1 starship is still one of the most popular starships in LEGO, etc. It will join my collection at some point. I'm really happy with that. I just finished it. Blue Bricks finally sent me the bits to finish it, and God, look how good it looks. But Eagle 1 isn't in my list at the moment, but it will be at some point, and is in a lot of sci-fi fans' collections. If, again, they can get the funding for this, and if they can find a streaming home for it, Space 1999 is very possible. Studios have accepted the idea, and it is in some form of development, even though, again, it's been a bit of a development hell the last few years. It's really funding that's the problem. 4 chevrons. The $6 billion Man. Now, this is a project that Netflix have sort of had their hands on for a little while, and we're hoping to do a movie with Mark Wahlberg. That hasn't really gone anywhere, but a TV series through Universal is now very much on the cards. Again, this is kind of a spin-off from the Knight Rider Airwolf projects, where they've sort of decided, look, one big project is too much, but we can do individual series if we can get somebody again to buy it. It has been in development for some time, but the shift from movie to TV series has only really happened in the last 18 months or so. Again, during the strikes. For that reason, it gets 4 chevrons. This is very, very possible, but is not really gone as far as scripts, etc. just yet. But studios are interested if they can figure out funding and they can get the right person as a showrunner. Farscape is one of my favourite sci-fi shows of all time. I love it. And this is a show that, again, they've tried to bring it back a couple of times. So obviously, after its cancellation, it did get brought back in the Peacekeeper Wars. But an actual reimagining, a reboot, is now on the cards. They have tried to do this where they would bring back the original cast, but I'm actually being told now that's probably not going to happen. And this will be one of those sort of soft hard reboots where it's all new cast, but they acknowledge the previous season and it's in universe without actually having those original cast members in it. This is something that Jim Henson's production company and Brian Henson have been trying to bring back for some time. I'm being told, though, that the problem is nobody particularly wants to pick it up, and funding the show is the major problem. There are also problems with the rights, that it's actually owned by 2 or 3 different people, and they would all have to agree, and that is causing a problem. So for that reason, it gets 2 chevrons. There are people trying to do it. They would love to get it on, but it's not got as far as studios agreeing to put it in some sort of development. Firefly is a series that I would love to see return, and I know Nathan Fillion is interested in trying to bring it back. But that is the problem. Disney have basically said they would only bring it back if Nathan Fillion was involved. The Rookie Season 8 has just been announced, and even though he has been appearing less and less in The Rookie, and basically he is being allowed to work on other things if they've increased the prominence of other characters, and I'm told that will continue. He will be, again, a little bit less in Rookie Season 8. I think it kind of makes sense as well, because the series is called The Rookie, and Nathan Fillion's character isn't anymore. So it should focus on new characters coming up that are rookies. I'm told that basically this show is thoroughly, though, dependent on Nathan Fillion returning, at least at first, and he has got several other projects on the go. So it's difficult. I would argue 4 chevrons because the studio have agreed it and would love to do it. But in this case, I'm only going to give it 2 chevrons because it is so dependent on Nathan Fillion returning and agreeing to do this. That makes it more difficult considering his current calendar. So, still possible, but very difficult. Space Above and Beyond is a reboot plan that I dropped exclusively, nearly 2 years ago. And I'm being told is still very much on the agenda for Fox and Disney. They would love to do this. It got a lot of work put on it during the strikes. There were people actually trying to put scripts together. They were looking at the original stories. It would be a hard reboot, a complete reimagining, based on the original 5 series that this series was actually supposed to do. They basically had a storyline of 5 seasons, a 5-season story arc, and that would still be the plan. But I'm being told it's never got beyond sort of talking about it. It's never got as far as the studios agreeing to put in any active development. There are still executives there that are pushing for it, that are trying to sell it, but currently Disney are not listening. So, still very much on the cards, still very much a possibility, but only getting 2 chevrons at the moment. Possible, but difficult. Stargate. Obviously I was going to have Stargate on the list. If you thought I wasn't going to have Stargate on the list, where have you been for the last 5 years while I've been doing this kind of thing? Yeah, Stargate. This is very possible, even though we're not 100% certain what they're actually going to do. Movie, TV series. I know for a fact, though, that it is still something that is in active development. There is a script for a movie, and it is very possible that's going to be announced this year. I am told that that is the intention. Mike Hopkins has now took over as the head of Amazon, and this is something that he would love to do because he is very, very keen to exploit the MGM IP as much as humanly possible. So I am giving this 6 chevrons. I think it is the most likely thing out of this list to actually get done. And even though I think it is actually going to be a movie, so it really shouldn't be on this list, I want a TV series. And I'm hoping Amazon MGM switch to that. This is going to happen. It's just when. But guys, now get into the comments and tell me what you think about this list and the different levels of potential development that, we're at here. Other than Babylon 5, all of these projects are at some level of being possible. But I'm told by insiders, look, most of these shows, about 1 in 5 go from, say, 3 or 4 chevrons to actually getting made, because financing them, finding a home for them, all these things need to be known before something goes in production. That is not so easy. But what do you think about my scoring on these? Would you think it's more or less for some of the projects? Obviously, I speak to insiders that have sort of given me an idea where these go. But what's your gut instinct? Get into the comments and tell me. As always, if you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. It really helps us out and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can become a member of the channel and see a lot of our videos up to 24 hours before everybody else. Go check that out. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.
Our tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.